5 minutes a day is a great place to start. It is beneficial and not too much to ask when you are talking about your overall health and happiness. Seriously, it's not hard, and here are 3 options. Hey there, my sister, my friend. Welcome to the Dr. Tanya B podcast with me, Dr. Tanya B. I am here to help you be your best, most authentic self, your life, your way. We're going to talk everything self-care, self-love, mindset, and personal growth with a splash of hippie woo. I am proud of you for giving yourself this time today, so let's not waste time and let's dig in. I warned you, I have a flair for the hippie woo, and today we are going to lean into that. We are going to take a minute to sort of peek behind the crazy that is the sum of Tanya Burfield. To be fair, though, what we are going to talk about today is actually based in science, so much like so many things that I would consider to be hippie woo. So today we are going to talk about grounding. If this is a concept that is new to you, it might sound or feel a little bit over the top or maybe even a little bit eccentric. That's okay, because when you stop and think about time that you have spent outside, maybe as a kid or more recently, when you really think about it, about how that time in nature makes you feel, how it can shift your emotions in the moment. And for a period of time after that moment, you might recognize that this really isn't that much of a stretch after all. I landed on this topic because in the last episode, you heard Elisa Allen and I talking about circadian rhythms in regards to sleep and how your sleep can be so much better when you pay attention to your circadian rhythm. That kind of led us down a little bit of a rabbit hole on grounding, and I felt like we brought your attention to it, but if it's not something that you're familiar with, it really is worth digging in. So that is exactly what we are going to do today. So grounding, what is it? Why would you even consider it? If you decide to think about it, how are you going to lean in? How are you going to do it? And for the love of God, how do you fit one more thing into your ridiculous schedule? I've got you. We're going to cover all of those. So let's start with, what is it? Grounding is also called earthing. You can Google either of those terms and see that I am not totally off my rocker here, maybe a little, but not totally. But all that grounding means is that you're physically connecting your body to the earth. It is about stepping barefoot onto the grass, into sand, into dirt, onto stones, whatever piece of natural earth you can walk onto, allowing your body to absorb the earth's natural electrons. I know that you might be feeling a little bit skeptical, but I promise this isn't some new trend or fad. It really is rooted in science and has been practiced by lots of cultures for ages and ages. Also, I am in no way claiming to be a scientist, so do not take me at my word. Do your own research. Always, for everything, do your own research. But here's what I do know and what I want to share with you. Your body is made up of an electrical system of sorts. The earth has super subtle negative charge. When you make direct contact between your body and the earth, your body then absorbs those electrons. This neutralizes your body. It stabilizes your electrical system. I kind of liken this to creating pH balance in the body because that's something that makes sense to me. It's about creating alkalinity or balance. I think balance would be our key word here. Again, there are lots of studies that talk about this and will show the benefits, so go look for them. But physically, what happens when you practice grounding is that it reduces the inflammation in your body. It improves your sleep. It boosts your immune function. It reduces chronic pain. And get this, it helps regulate your cortisol, which is your stress hormone. So, speaking of your stress hormone, grounding also provides benefits to your mental health, such as less stress, less anxiety. It enhances your mood. It improves your focus and your concentration. It gives you a sense of calm, a sense of centeredness. It can lessen the symptoms of depression, and it can give you just an improved sense of overall well-being. Who couldn't use a little bit of that, right? So, this is something that I do on a very regular basis. So much so that this summer we built a Zen garden in our yard. Having this space not only is so pretty with its natural elements and the really cool fountain that my husband built, but it also gives me a quiet place to connect with nature within the privacy that I was looking for. It is a quick and an easy reset that I often will use before the day hits, or as I'm ready to settle in and release the BS that hit me throughout the day, I will use it at the end of the day. I know you are thinking, that sounds great, but where the crap am I going to put one more thing into my day? This really, truly only takes a few minutes and just means that you need to kick off your shoes, take a breath. It costs you nothing, it takes very little out of your schedule, and it pays off in really big ways. There are so many ways that you can incorporate this into your day. It does not, please do not make this a big production. It does not have to be a big deal. It really is just about kicking off your shoes. So depending on the season of life that you are in, here are a couple of ideas. Maybe you just get up a little bit earlier before anyone else around you and you step outside. Maybe you can take your coffee with you and enjoy that. So 5 minutes of sipping your coffee in quiet sounds absolutely amazing to me. How about a lunch reset? You could use your lunch break to kick off your heels and walk in the grass for a few minutes. One of my favorites, as I mentioned earlier, is at the end of the day, using that to unwind. So in the evening, I love this after dark. I'll spend 10 minutes in my Zen garden meditating, just sitting quietly. Or maybe sometimes I'm listening to a guided meditation. You could go back and try the September meditation that's in episode 1. That would be amazing. This is such a fantastic way to relax, to let go of the day, and to prep your body for sleep. You can do this solo. You can do it with your partner. You can do it with your kids. You can do it with your friends. Have a picnic. Play barefoot in the grass. You can get your exercise outside. How about maybe yoga in the grass or on the beach? You can garden. Even if that's on a porch or a balcony, you're still outside. You're still getting your hands in the elements of the earth. So think about this. Some of us are about to move into the cold, dark winter months where we struggle with seasonal depression, feeling lackluster, just generally having lower energy. This is often from not getting outside, from not grounding, from not getting your vitamin D. So you can get in front of that by taking a few steps to ground each day. How do you do that when it's cold outside? Well, first of all, go outside. You can still go outside in the cold. So wrap up, put a coat on. You'll get used to the cold on your toes. And again, you only need a few minutes. But if you want to be a baby, and I get that because sometimes I'm a big baby, there are some alternatives. You can use indoor plants. So keep potted plants with exposed soil and take the time to touch them, to touch the dirt and use that to ground. You can use grounding mats or sheets. I have used the sheets, they're bed sheets that you just sleep on. I have used them. I do not find it to be as helpful as getting outside, but I do think that it's better than nothing. And believe it or not, visualization actually works here. So maybe you don't live in a climate or a situation that is conducive to walking outside and doing your grounding, or maybe you're traveling. It's okay. You can visualize yourself connecting to the earth. Picture the ground under your feet. Feel or visualize the connection of your body to the earth, like picturing the roots moving from your feet out into the ground. You could try a meditation that does this. I have one on chakra clearing that's on YouTube that you could use. I'll connect the link to that in the notes. But again, it's visualization will work. It's not quite as helpful as getting outside, but it is better than nothing. Circling back to the circadian rhythm, this is your body's internal clock. So this clock regulates your sleep and your wake cycles, your hormone release, your eating habits, even your digestion. This rhythm is influenced by cues like light. Think about farmers who were working by the light of day, getting up early, going to sleep early, because that's when they had the light to do that. This rhythm, in today with our lifestyles, is totally disrupted by our lifestyle. The phones that we use, the screen time that we have, the erratic sleep schedules. If you missed it, go back to the last episode with Elisa because we really dig into this and we talk more about what the circadian rhythm is and how you can regulate that so that you can feel better. But the purposes of today is just know that grounding helps with your internal clock. So not only are you connecting to the earth, you're exposing yourself to natural sunlight, again, the vitamin D, especially as we move into winter. These all help you with better sleep, more energy, just generally feeling better. A few minutes a day will help you fight off those winter blues. Okay, so we've talked about the what, the why, and the how. Now, how are you going to create a routine around this? First of all, start small. 5 minutes a day is a great place to start. It is beneficial. It is not too much to ask when you are talking about your overall health and happiness. You can increase it as you want or as it fits into your schedule. But seriously, this is not hard. Here are 3 options. Number 1, get up 5 minutes earlier. You can just stand in the grass. Try a quick walking meditation if you want, or just sit in the quiet. Again, take your coffee outside and just sit and enjoy it. Standing in the grass, sitting in the grass, whatever that looks like for you. Talk about a double whammy about getting your rhythm set, getting your grounding in place, and getting your mindset ready for the day. Just take a moment out of your busy day. So that is number 2. Take a moment out of your busy day. Maybe that is lunch. Maybe that is dinner. You do not have to do this alone. Take a coworker, take the kids. They will all benefit too. And then number 3, like I shared earlier, my favorite is right before bed. So I will go outside, usually after dark, and it just gives me a little bit of time in the outdoors to meditate, to let go of the day and to reset into more relaxing sleep. And then, as with everything, consistency is the key. So try to do it at the same time each day for a couple of weeks. That helps you create the habit, the routine that will allow it to have a larger impact. You can also connect it with other practices like meditation, like breath work, like gentle stretching. Your body and your mind will thank you for that. If you feel called, you could track it. So you could use a journal to track your consistency and the changes that you are noticing. This might motivate you to stick with it. Just don't be, I'm like me on this one. I'm just going to say it. So I tend to get overwhelmed and bogged down in perfectionism. Do not allow the tracking to throw you for a loop based on that overwhelm or perfection. Because most importantly, you've heard me say this a million times. Ease and grace, my friends. You have to be flexible. There are days that are going to get in your way. You either couldn't do it, you had to do it at a different time, you had to shorten the duration. So what? Do not let that stop you. Ease and grace, my friend. Do the best you can and be happy with that. So, grounding, 5 minutes a day will change your life. It shifts your overall well-being. It leads you to a shift in mindset, which leads to transformation. Sounds really small, sounds inconsequential. I promise this will lead to transformation if you let it. This is a really powerful tool to not only keep in your toolbox, but to pull out on a daily basis. So simple, yet it will calm the chaos. It will help you find your balance. Give it a shot and let me know what that impact is like for you. And then, depending on when you are listening to this episode, in just a few days, I am going to be launching the Empower Her Self-Care Summit. I am interviewing 12, you heard me, 12 experts, all of which work with women in different categories of self-care. So these interviews, the strategies and the tools that these fabulous women are sharing have been absolutely fantastic. They have lifted me up like nobody's business. So I love doing the interviews. I love learning from the ladies, and I know that you will get so much from tuning in. It is completely 100% free to you. All you have to do is register. The link is in the notes. It is www.drtanyab.com/summit. But again, the link is in the notes. Then on Sunday, September 29th, you will get an email with instructions to listen and then my takeaways from each of the conversation. All you have to do is register, listen, learn, and lean in. Do not miss it. And if you are listening after this podcast episode airs, then, or after the summit launches, you can still pick it up. Just go to the link that is in the notes and get yourself registered, and you will get the email to go and listen to all of those. I think that I have covered it all for now. So until next week, my friend, I love you and I will see you soon.